Welcome back to another episode of the FPL Fundits. It's going to be another quick episode released before the deadline to help you with your last minute wildcard draft picks. Any differentials if you can find. Obviously, the transfer picks for this week. I mean, everyone's at Foden, but we might have a look at a few other players in case they were the hit. A really good game week 12. Made it inside the top 20K, but it's a very tight season. There are swings to still take place before the World Cup break. Um, if you do have a wild card in your hand, I think if you're considering maybe pushing it for the last two game weeks, fair enough. If you want to really go crazy there and try to make gains, but I think this is a good game week to play it with the fixtures turning favorably for Arsenal and City. Before I move into this episode, if you're not already following us on Twitter and Instagram, please go ahead and follow us. Let's increase this community. We're soon going to go up to our regular videos, which we did back in the start about a year back. And if you haven't already, joined the mini league. So this is what my team looks like right now. Justin, Trippier, Cancelo in defense with Raya in goal. Most likely will be Raya in goal. Got a little lucky there, I guess, with Ward. I was a little beating myself up with those 10 points on the bench, but I guess that 1 point miss is fine this week. Trossard obviously will be going out. Salah, Zaha, Martinelli, Mitrovic, Tony, Haaland. Now I'm not sure if Doherty starts, does Royal come back in? Could Royal still be on the bench, right? Versus Newcastle, I could miss out a clean sheet there or more, but I'm okay to maybe risk that right now. Again, same with Andreas on the bench against Leeds. I do see him being effective, but I do also see the same thing with Zaha, with Lampard, probably trying to try something different. Crystal Palace have a few weaknesses of their own. So you never know, right? Martinelli should be fit enough for the Sunday game. Arteta said that he has trained again. He was fine before that first training session. And with the game being on Sunday, I do see him being fit for that. If not, hopefully he stays off and Andreas can come in for a haul over there. Now, a quick look transfer for this week, right? Before I go, and obviously Foden's on everyone's mind and Trossard going out does make sense because it's Trossard versus I'll move this here. So Trossard versus City and Chelsea. Foden at 8.4, his price has gone up, and I think by the time this video comes out, Trossard's price would have probably dropped to 6.8 as well. So in case that changes happen, I apologize for the graphics. Just look at that fixture, and I do feel that even with Champions League, I feel you have enough over there to go in for Trossard, to go into Foden in your team. I think he's number one pick over there. Now Saka is a small doubt, but I think again he should be clear to play. Southampton, Nottingham, not really the worst fixtures, 0.5 cheaper than Foden. So let's say, for example, how that works, right? Let's say you have KDB in your team. You're looking at two cheaper options. You don't want to go for Zaha. I think Saka there right now, getting him in and keeping him, even though Chelsea might just work out. Especially in case Martinelli starts off the bench, Jesus delivers well and you want to break in somewhere and you don't have Jesus. I think Saka Martinelli could be a good duo. But yeah, number one pick definitely is Foden for me, looking at just those fixtures, right? Chelsea again, yes, tough one for Arsenal. Not the worst, but hence I would say why Foden is, the number one pick right now. Obviously, outside of these two, we do also have an option of looking at Jared Bowen again. 8.2. Bournemouth, Palace and Leicester in 13, 15, 16. United in 14 away. Well, West Ham have done decently against United in the past 5 years, so probably not the worst fixture to consider that United do have that random leaky goal in them still. Maybe everything is not fully showed up in the back. So I don't think he is absolutely the worst fixture to keep him for. So I would keep an eye out for him. He's still a good differential mark technically. He's at 5.4% ownership. So for me, it just meets the differential threshold as well. So if you don't want Zaha, if he's not convinced you, he did get a goal last week, but he's had a little bit of hit and miss, right? So Everton, Southampton, West Ham, and Nottingham. Good run of fixtures to Zaha as well. If he's not convinced you, then I think Bowen, Foden could be that good double up in your team. Especially if you have those free transfers, which you can easily use up. Outside of this, okay, I want to look at wildcard drafts, obviously, but just quickly before we move on to the wildcard draft. What about Salah? See, I have Salah in my team. Do you keep him? Do you sell him? I think I hold, right? It's just the fixtures are too good. And forget about obviously the fact that they're playing Nottingham Forest this week. Nottingham Leeds, right? Just really two good fixtures. Tottenham, Southampton. Now the case in point is again to be made about De Bruyne, right? At 12.3, cheaper over there. And we saw the fixtures earlier: it's Brighton, Leicester, Fulham, and Brentford. Three home games from that. I believe that you could instead keep Foden in your team, and hopefully there's not too much rotation with Grealish over there, and Foden starts majority of the games. KDB could start more games then. That's the area to figure. I believe it, especially with Darwin not sure, Firmino up top. You could start with Carvalho right now. Jota not there. Luis Diaz not there. So I understand that Liverpool's appeal is a little low, which is why I understand if you don't use a free transfer to go for Trent this week. But I think if you have Salah, probably hold him on for a week or two and just see how that plays out, right? You could obviously, if you have Trossard, get it for him over there, or get it for him for maybe Zaha even, and see how that goes. Just probably hold on to Salah is what I would think. Now let's just move on to the wildcard drafts. Like I said, I want to keep it a quick episode, hopefully below 12 minutes, so there's not too much to look at before the deadline. So let's look at the wildcard. This is my first wildcard draft here. I do believe, let's look at goalkeepers. I do believe, yes, Kepa's in good form. At that price point, he could be similar as Raya, right? So not much in price point over there. I just believe with the way fixtures are going, Raya and Ward probably are the best picks to keep rotating in and out. Nick Pope is good. Newcastle are good. But that 0.3, sorry, not 0.3, that 0.8 definitely can be used in your team better off. Now this is the one where I've got in Trent. Like, you're assuming Trent is going to start all the games. Liverpool have good fixtures versus Leeds and Nottingham. Good games for Trent to break back into his stride after the injury and get into some form. Trent, Cancelo, Trippier, safe picks there. Justin and Gahey, not bad options to rotate around, especially with a few tough fixtures coming in. So, for example, if you're worried about Bowen against United, you could get one of them in that game week, right? Gahey plays Southampton over there. Justin plays City, so you can avoid him. So there's plenty for you to do over there. You can even obviously look at Andreas versus Everton in that game. So enough rotation options. So I've gone with Foden, Bowen, and Saka in this. That's a little too premium shy. Yes, you do have technically two heavy defenders in there instead. This is a bit of a risky team, right? That's what I said. This is what I'm trying to make the most of these players with their fixtures coming up, with Arsenal's fixture turn. Not gone for Saliba over there. Instead, I've kept two Arsenal players in midfield. Worried about Saliba's potential of being suspended, as well as Jesus's, right? So I believe you don't need to have Jesus and Saka and Martinelli. I think you could do just two in midfield. If you do already have Jesus, though, you don't have taken him out. I think Martinelli, Jesus should suffice. Saka not needed. You could probably look at Zaha there instead. Now, with this team, as you can see, you have 2.5 million left in the bank. You can do a lot with that 2.5 million. If Darwin's fit, for example, you could, and there's no Salah in this team, right? You could go Darwin in for Tony, assuming you're worried about Tony getting that yellow card and being suspended as well. You could go Mitrovic down to Solanke, build up more reserve in the bank. Sorry, give me a second. Right, so let me just tweak this a bit before I go to the second wildcard draft. Let's say this is a team that doesn't suit you. Let's say I hold on to Salah here, right? Lacking a points that you can keep. I would hold on to Mitrovic. It's a tough one for me. Would you keep Tony or Mitrovic? I'm not really sure. It's a tough one to tell you guys. The fixtures are there. Mitrovic obviously has bad fixtures at 15, 16. You might want to then move him on to the bench, or you could move him on for a free that time for Solanke. Or right now, if you're not looking to get Darwin in and Salah's enough for you and you want Trent in your team, it's a bit of a tough one, but you could potentially then look at maybe moving out Bowen, getting in a Zaha over there. Might be a point shot over there, but essentially that's the kind of structure you'll be looking at, right? If you want to hold on to Salah and get in Trent, that is. If you don't want to get in Trent, none of this should be an issue, right? You can keep Tony, leave out Trent Alexander-Arnold. Potentially look at a Perisic there with his attacking potential. Keep Nico maybe because you want to have a cheap player there. Like I said, then you have a lot of money in the bank, right? You can get a Bowen in here, you can get a Saka in here, and hold on to Salah. zero point 0.7 in the bank there. You can keep Zaha and maybe take Tony up to Darwin. You'll have money for that. Little bit of an injury worry this week, which is why I'm not 100% committed to it. But you could potentially look at this a team like this, right? My second wildcard draft is a little more simpler. I've held on to Salah here and what I was showing you earlier. And got Darwin into this team. Left Mitrovic as it is. He can go down to a Solanke to give you more flexibility, but no money left here for Jared Bowen. Like I said, the team is completely constricted in terms of funds. Foden in the team for the City fixtures. Now you could potentially, like I said, on the flip side in this team, if you're not comfortable with Salah and like I said, maybe he's good to get him in. Maybe you can then, if you're using a wild card, potentially look at getting KDB in here. Can't go obviously for a 3 over there. Unless you're okay going Cancelo and moving that to Trent over there, then you can go Foden, De Bruyne, Haaland. Very little risky with rotation, but can't say it's a worst move possible. Sorry, I'll leave Cancelo in here. You can do Bowen again here. You can do Saka over there, double up over there. You have Zaha here. And all of this with Darwin up ahead, right? I'm not even keeping Tony, who does have good fixtures. So I wouldn't say it's a must to Darwin. But I think considering Darwin up top might be a good attacking intent, especially if you're not going for Salah. Liverpool have to get the goal somewhere, right? Firmino, 8.1, obviously cheaper. I don't know. He's not done the worst, right? He has his goals. He's got the goals and assists. He's got the numbers over there. Just not 100% sure on him, right? The fixtures are good. Could bang in this week. So yeah, maybe differentially. It's not even a differential. He's at 10% ownership. So I don't know if I would be able to muster the courage if I was wildcarding to go for Firmino. So I'm not going to tell you 100% you should do it. But if it feels like it's the one for you, go for it. I feel maybe Darwin looks better and better. And hopefully if it's not a bad injury, one to consider. But yeah, that's potentially the players you should look at. Bowen, Foden, maybe KDB, getting him in, wildcarding. It leaves you, like I said, look at this with 2.2 in the bank if you don't go in for a Firmino, if you don't go in for a Darwin as well. You could potentially, although Metro's fixtures turn and you're not too confident about him, you could take out Mitrovic, get Solanke in right now, go down to a Greenwood, even if you want to play just 2 strikers up top with a Tony Haaland. That leaves you enough money to upgrade a Neko up to a Trent. All of this is possible for wildcarding. So it just depends on what you want. Now, if you notice, I haven't gone in for Salah over here. I've not gone in for Kane over here. Now, the reason why I'm not gone in for Kane is I'm not just too happy with the balance of the team. All of the fixtures are there. Although he is looked good apart from United. Newcastle won with good fixtures and leads at 16, right? I was just not the happiest with the overall balance of my team. So if I look at this team very closely right now, I'm a million short. Obviously, if you manage your funds better, you could potentially do this. I potentially here don't even have Foden, don't have this. I can compensate. I can get in a Rashford here and have this team. It's not the worst team. Rashford has looked good for United. With Chelsea, West Ham, Villa, and Fulham, not the worst fixtures again. But I don't know if I can 100% tell you that this is the best move, especially with the likes of Foden, Saka there. Could haul better. Rashford looks good. Teasing a bit as a United fan, especially watching that Tottenham game. But yeah, these are the moves you can make. You can attack. It could be a little different. That's when ownership is at 15%, not as high as Foden and everybody else. So you could have gains over there. But yeah, those are the moves that I would consider. Again, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I wanted to keep it a short one. Best of luck for this game week. I hope you have a good one for the ones wildcarding. I hope it works out for you. You make grand gains. I hope for myself I break into the top 10K. If not now, then before we break for the World Cup. Again, best of luck. A happy Diwali to everybody who's watching this from India and to all the managers around the world. Cheers.